Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Productive Wellbeing Show with me, your host, Abigail Barnes. And I am so excited that today we are joined by the amazing Kerrie-Anne from Pilates at Your Desk. And we are going to have a conversation all about how to keep moving, how to keep active, why it's important and how it's going to help us. If you're new to remote working, then this is going to be the show for you to watch. Tune in every day at 11. We are going live on LinkedIn and Facebook, and share this with your friends. And if you've got any questions as we go on, just leave them in the comments. And if you would like any questions answered, you are welcome to email me at hello@successbydesign.training. So Kerrie-Anne, welcome. So excited to have you here today.
Thanks for having me.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good. I tried on a headband because in all of your, it's almost like your headband's your signature thing. So I tried on a headband today, and no, it looks cool on you. Me and headbands are not the thing. So
it's actually just hiding my fringe, that's all.
Oh, amazing. Well, why is it so important for us to keep mobile while we're working? What's going on in our bodies? Like, we just sit. So how long should we sit for? What can we do? Give us a little bit of the science behind the...
Sure. Well, there are heaps of reasons why it's important to keep moving. Mobility is one of them, so you can keep lots of movement around your joints. Obviously, exercise is really good for keeping you strong, keeping your bones strong. It makes you feel energized. It actually makes you feel happy because you release hormones which make you feel happy when you move. And it's good also when you're working all day to have those regular breaks so that you can just check out of what you're doing, re-energize, and then come back. So it actually makes you more productive as well. When I teach my workshops, I always start off by saying that, you know, for the most recent research on it is that for every 30 minutes that you sit, you should get up and move for a couple of minutes. And then I ask everyone, like, how does that compare to your day? And generally it's like, no. So while that's unrealistic for many people, it is good to just try and get up as much as you can throughout the day, because obviously some movement is better than none.
Amazing. So how often do you think that we should really be getting up every day? What is the science telling us, and what's your recommendation as the expert here?
Well, as I just said, so the recommendation is that for every 30 minutes, you get up and move for a couple of minutes. But again, that's not really realistic for many people. So if you can try to get up every hour and do something, that would be good. And then if you can't get up and do something every hour, then even if you just stop typing or doing what you're doing and try to do some movement, so there are so many things you can do seated, which actually don't even require you to get up at all, then that's going to just be credit in the bank.
Amazing. So Kerrie-Anne is going to be on my other show next week, the Success by Design weekly show, and we're going to talk more about her background, why she does what she does, and she's also going to be sharing 8 moves that we can do while we're sitting at our desk. So as this is just sort of a quick check-in, a quick coffee break for those of you remote working, to give you some tips, tools and advice for how to keep productive and keep mobile, keep active, focus on your sort of your well-being, your mental health. Kerrie-Anne's going to share 2 things with us today that we can do. So if you're working from home, you can do them now. If you're in the office, just do them anyway, so other people might sort of join in. So what's the first thing that we can do? What's the most important thing that we should know sitting at our desks?
So I think it's really important to know how to sit. So I think we can do that one today. I always say to people, you know, the odd crossing of the leg or the pretzel, whatever position you like to get into, in theory it's fine. But the fact is that we don't just do it for 10 seconds. We'll cross our legs and we'll sit there for the whole day, and then we'll do it the next day and the next day. And really what that starts to do is cause imbalances between the left and right hand side of the body and the front and back. So if you can sit in the way that stacks your bones the best way they can be stacked, then it's going to be good for you in the long term. So just quickly, what that looks like is you want to have both feet flat on the floor.
Yep.
Are you doing it? Good.
I am. And I just want to say, if what Kerrie-Anne just said about crossing over your legs and everything, if you're guilty, like I am, of crossing your legs, then write in the comments, guilty, thank you, going to stop doing it or try doing it less.
Actually, do you know my preferred way? So before I did this, I was an economist for 10 years, and my preferred way of sitting was like a pretzel, where you wrap your legs right round,
yeah,
sit bones like this. This was basically how I spent 10 hours a day. So I'm
really, it's like you watch me, because this is how I sit now. And then I wonder why when I get up, I can't actually walk. So okay, feet flat on the ground.
So you want your feet flat on the floor, a right angle at your knee, and then the bony bits under your bum, your sit bones, find those, sit up on those, so you've got another right angle where your legs meet your torso. You want your hips to be over your hips, shoulders widen down, and neck in line with your spine. So you look a bit like a double L. If you think top of the head and then along to your knees, that's the first L, and then lower legs and along to your toes, second L. So if you think about how this compares to how you normally sit, and I usually say to people, don't worry if you don't do it all day, just try and do it for as much as you can, and think about that as, again, as giving you credit for when you get home, on a lie on the sofa and watch a bit of Netflix, okay? So this is how to sit, even if you just go in, turn your
flat on the floor.
Right angle at your knees, sitting up on your sit bones, ribs over hips, not forward and not back, shoulders widen down and neck in line with your spine. And then if you like, you can squeeze your sit bones together. Oh. There's a Brucey bonus for you. Good. So the second exercise that I was going to share with you guys today, it's more like four in one. It's just to tell you about the different ways that your spine can move, so you can integrate a bit of that into today, because we spend quite a lot of time like this with our spine inflection. So you want to try and move it the other ways. It moves sideways, it rotates, it extends, and then it flexes. So the way to do it is, if you interlock your fingers, pop your hands behind your head and put your thumbs in the soft bits under your skull. Now press your head back into your hands and gently think about lifting your head off your shoulders with your hands. Good. Now sitting on both sit bones, we're going to lift up and away from our waist to a side bend over to one side.
We're both going the opposite way.
Oh, you've gone too far there, Abigail. You've got to keep both sit bones down, so it's just a movement from the spine. There you go, that's better. Good. It's quite hard work, isn't it, to stay on both sit bones?
We're both going the opposite way.
I know. It's okay.
We're looking at each other.
I know. I'm going the opposite way from which I am actually going. Does that make sense? I'm going the other way. The camera's telling me I'm going the opposite way. Anyway, enough of that. Now we're going to rotate. So you're going to stay on both sit bones, look to one side and rotate. I'm not daring to say left and right. And come back to centre, look the other way and rotate to the other side. And come back to centre. Let's do that one more time each way. And centre. And one more time. And centre. Now give your collarbones a little tap, and I want you to imagine you're a puppet and you've got strings attached to your collarbones, and a puppeteer is going to come and pull those strings, and you're going to lift your collarbones up to the ceiling. So pop your hands back behind your head. Collarbones have got strings on them. Then you're going to lift your collarbones up to the ceiling, look up at your eyebrows, and then come back to centre. And you should get a nice stretch in your middle to upper back. And
I hope you're doing this at home, guys.
I hope so too. And then back to centre.
Wherever you are.
And then lift up and back to centre. Just bring your arms down and have a little shake. And the last one is the one that we're most familiar with, because it's the way that we like to get ourselves, the position we get ourselves into the day. But we're going to do it in a lengthened way rather than a compressed way. So pop your hands back behind your head. Now go sideways so you can see this one. So press your head into your hands. It's almost like you're lifting your rib cage off your back to flex forward. And then you're lengthening your spine all the way back up.
So, like, is this right?
Sorry, I just lost you there, Abigail. My laptop went off. Let me have a look. Let's do that again. So you're going to lift your head off your hands with your hands back there, and then you're going to flex your spine forward. It's almost like you're diving up and over your rib cage. Keep pressing your head into your hands, and then lengthen all the way back up. Good. You should feel a nice little stretch in your lower back as you lengthen your spine up and away from it. Did you feel that?
I did. And so at this stage, I need to say to you guys, so quite a few years ago, I was diagnosed with scoliosis. So I've had scoliosis operations. So I don't have the same flexibility as the average person. So Kerrie-Anne's the person you need to look to for the flexibility side. But just to say that, so even with the fact I've got titanium rods in my spine, I can still do these exercises and feel relief and release from them. So no excuses, give these a go. And as I said, Kerrie-Anne is going to be sharing 8 moves and recording it so that you can watch it at home in the comfort of your own home and go through them at your own speed and practice them, and then check out other stuff that she's got. She's also doing sort of a workshop next week as well, so that you can join in and get more tailored training to your requirements. It's so exciting. Thank you so much for showing those to us. So remind me again, we've done the how to sit, sideways, rotating, extending, and flexion. Amazing. So that's 5. We were only going to share 2, but there you go, guys. Never let it be said that you don't come away with more than you were bargaining for from this show. So thank you so much for sharing that with us. And is there anything else, like where can we find you on social media so that we can sort of get in touch?
Yeah, sure. So I have I go on Instagram quite a bit, and I share a few movement videos a couple of times a week. So my Instagram handle is Pilates at your desk, at Pilates at your desk. I also have a Facebook page by the same name. And then my website is www.pilatesatyourdesk.com. Did I say 2 W's then? I mean www.pilatesatyourdesk.com.
Amazing. So easy. So basically, she's Pilates at your desk everywhere. And we'll also put all of the links in the comments. And I'm so excited to have you on the show next week, Success by Design weekly masterclass, where you'll be sort of telling us a little bit more about yourself and why this is so important for all of us to be able to look after. I call the body the machine. Do you? Or is that just me?
Maybe other people do too, but I haven't used that one myself. I might do now though.
Look after the vehicle that takes us through day-to-day life. So there we go. Crazy.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for your time. And guys, leave any comments or questions in the show. And if you think it was valuable to you, then please share it with your friends. We totally appreciate all of the support at the moment, because this is something that we are doing for free to support everybody finding themselves remote working for the first time in their career, perhaps, or being a remote worker in a world of distraction and confusion. So thank you so much. And thank you, Kerrie-Anne.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.